Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dive into a totally new way of thinking about work and productivity. We're going to challenge that old idea that just working harder and faster is the path to success, and instead we'll explore how our own biology holds the real key to unlocking something called hyperefficiency.
And this quote right here from the philosopher Marshall McLuhan, it really sets the stage. See, for most of human history, our sense of time was totally natural. It was local. It was set by the sun. But then technology came along. From the telegraph all the way to the internet, it just shattered that natural rhythm. We built this world that moves at a completely unnatural speed. And let's be honest, we're all struggling to keep up.
So that brings us to a really important question. I mean, we are all chasing efficiency, right? Trying to cram more and more into every single minute. But what if that chase, this nonstop hustle culture, is completely at odds with how our brains are actually wired to perform at their absolute best? Okay, so to really get how we got here, we need to look back at how we fell into what we can call the efficiency trap. And believe it or not, the story starts with the simple act of standardizing time.
It all started with the railroads. They're the reason we had to ditch natural sun time for a single standardized clock across the country. Then a guy named Frederick Taylor came along with his scientific efficiency, which basically treated workers like, well, machines that needed to be optimized, and all of that led to the big one, the assembly line, which forced a constant mechanical pace on human beings.
And you know what? The assembly line was unbelievably effective. I mean, at its peak, the Ford Motor Company went from making just a few cars a month to cranking one out every 24 seconds. It's insane. And so this model of constant linear work became the gold standard for productivity, not just in factories, but pretty soon in offices everywhere. And right there, that's the fundamental problem. We built our entire modern work environment for machines, but we're expecting our biological brains to run on it. We expect our minds, which are naturally rhythmic, to operate like a conveyor belt, just chugging along at a constant superhuman speed. And that mismatch, that's the tension and burnout we're all feeling. But what if, instead of fighting our biology, we actually worked with it? Let's take a look at our brain's natural and, frankly, far more effective way of getting things done.
So scientists have found this pattern that shows up everywhere in nature. And yep, in us too. It's called a power law. And for our work, it basically means this. As the intensity of our effort goes up, the duration we can sustain it goes way down. We are literally built for short, intense sprints followed by longer periods of recovery. And you see this pattern everywhere once you look for it. It's how hunter-gatherer societies worked and what they call fits and starts. Researchers even found it in the letter-writing habits of giants like Darwin, Freud, and Einstein. Heck, even our own bodies, when we're not forcing them to do otherwise, move and rest in this exact rhythmic pattern. It is deeply, deeply ingrained in us. So if this whole rhythmic pattern is our natural state, how does the brain actually pull it off? How does it control these cycles of intense focus and then that much-needed restorative rest?
Well, the answer lies in what you can think of as your brain's gear network. And it's all managed by this tiny little cluster of cells called the locus coeruleus, which literally means the blue dot. This blue dot shoots out norepinephrine, which acts like a gear shifter for your entire brain, changing its whole configuration and pace on the fly.
So first up, we've got Gear 1. This is your slow power state. Think about when you first wake up, or you're just kind of daydreaming, watching the world go by. Your mind is relaxed, your attention is unplugged. This is absolutely essential for recharging your batteries.
Let's think of it like this. In Gear 1, your mental camera is set to a wide panoramic view. You see the big picture, but the image is a little fuzzy. You're not focused on any of the fine details.
Then you shift up to Gear 2. Now this is the sweet spot. This is what we call being in the zone. Your prefrontal cortex is fully online, making this the perfect gear for deep work, for complex learning, and for creative thinking.
And that mental camera, it just snaps right into a sharp, clear focus on your target, and all that distracting background stuff just blurs away. It's this precise, crystal clear view that allows for that high-quality, efficient work we're all after.
And finally, there's the red line Gear 3.
This is your high alert, rapid response mode. Your brain is firing on all cylinders to react instantly, say, in a crisis. But, and this is a big but, this speed comes at a huge cost. Any kind of thoughtful, nuanced work becomes nearly impossible. Sure, your typing speed might be incredible, but you're also way more likely to make a ton of mistakes.
In Gear 3, your view is just a blur of motion. Information is rushing past so fast that you can't see any of the details clearly. It's perfect for emergencies, but it's absolutely terrible for the kind of deep thinking most of our jobs actually require.
So here are our 3 gears, side by side. The big problem with modern work is that it constantly demands we stay in that high alert Gear 3, when our best, most creative work actually happens in the sharp focus of Gear 2. Real hyper-efficiency isn't about staying in one gear. It's about learning how to shift between all 3 of them, intentionally.
Okay, so understanding the gears is one thing, but actually taking control of the gear shifter, now that is the real game changer. So how do we do it?
A great place to start is by structuring our day around our brain's natural 90-minute rest activity cycle. A simple way to do this is to hit your hardest work in the first 20 minutes when your mind is really primed for that Gear 2 focus. Then, as your focus naturally starts to fade, you can transition to easier tasks before taking a strategic break to downshift and reset.
And get this, not all breaks are created equal. You have a charging station break, like a quick walk around the block. The goal there is to jolt you back into that focus state of Gear 2. But then you have a rest station break, like a short nap or just staring out the window. The goal there is to fully downshift into Gear 1 to recover and truly recharge your mental energy.
So when we put all this together, our understanding of natural rhythms, our brain's gears, and taking strategic breaks, a whole new vision for the future of work starts to emerge. The old model? That's the marching soldier, linear, rigid, and stuck in a state of chronic, high-alert Gear 3. The new, hyper-efficient model is the spinning dancer. It's all about embracing natural rhythms, having an adaptive pace, and fluidly shifting between all your gears as you need them. It's about working smarter, totally in sync with our biology.
So the final question you've got to ask yourself is this: are you a marching soldier or are you a spinning dancer? Thanks for watching The Explainer.